Hey everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller, and I'm sitting here with Hylissang from Fnatic, not Unicorns of Love anymore. Congrats on the win.
Thank you very much.
So first of all, Fnatic now had a bit of a rough start compared to what Fnatic would expect in terms of standings and stuff. What do you think was like the primary reason as to why the team has been struggling against other teams?
I was expecting to not go 0-18 at the beginning, even though people were hyping us and saying that we are the best team. I believe that we are still building synergy between the players and building chemistry and whatever you said. So far we are not the team that was expected from the fans, but we are working towards it really hard every day, and we are learning new and new strategies from our staff, coaching staff. It's really insane actually compared to my old team. And yeah, just we need to much better as a players and as a members, and then we'll do great because we're all really good.
So how did the transfer from the Unicorns to Fnatic come to be? Like Reckless has previously mentioned that he really would like to play with you on a competitive team. Was he a driver to get you on Fnatic?
Yeah, he was the main guy to put me in Fnatic. I was always a good friend with him, and whenever we played solo queue, we matched really well together. And yeah, he just asked me how is it going with my old team, and I told him that I'll most likely leave, and he kept slot for me. So yeah.
So you played for the Unicorns of Love for a very long time, though. You were there from the start, a few of the OG members. What made you leave at the end of the day?
Mainly that we didn't really achieve what I wanted, and I felt like I couldn't achieve it there. So I just decided it was time for me to go. I told as well my team that if we can't make it this year, I will most likely leave, and I did. So they knew we couldn't make it. Then it was time for me to go.
Fair enough. Now, what has it been like so far for you to work with Reckless, one of the greatest ADCs of the West of all time, but also relatively young players in Caps and Broxer who still have a lot of room to grow, but probably still need some guidance at some points?
Working with Reckless is actually not that easy as I thought. He's like really expects a lot, and if you don't do it as he expects it, he might get upset at moments. But we're working on it, and he's doing a really good job at it. And we will become eventually the best bot in Europe. It's just about time. And about Caps and Broxer, they're like, yeah. When I think about Caps, I just smile, and it's really fucking good. Like this guy is like just makes the atmosphere so happy always, and throws around, and you just laugh with him. And Broxer is like really nice and smart, I would say. And yeah, I love playing with them, and it's good.
We talked about this a bit before the interview. Had a really popular arm wrestler essentially in the UoL. You're known as like the strongest arm wrestler, and you even beat Broxer and Joey doing that.
Yeah, I said already that Broxer wasn't the hardest opponent. I always wanted to play against Joey because he looks like really buffed, and this guy won't mess with you if you get in a fight with him. So I really wanted to fight him at arm wrestling. And I told him, and we tried, and he even like wanted to on the next day in front of everyone to play, and so we have more like on the table. And then I beat him, and then everyone wanted to play with me, like Broxer, Reckless, and I don't remember who was it. I think there was one more guy that we played, and they couldn't beat me in the same day. So yeah, it was fun.
Who was the hardest opponent in that area so far?
Probably Joey. I actually played with in Unicorns of Love. I played with a friend of mine. He's called Vivi, and he was my hardest opponent so far. Okay. Because maybe I gave him a bit of advantage, but I didn't want to lose, so I just made my job really hard. But I beat him eventually. So
was Romain a big challenge for you?
Yeah, Romain was good. I always beat him. But if you play like too much, he'll beat me eventually because I'll get exhausted.
Okay, so he has more stamina.
Yes, he has more stamina.
Now, what are your personal goals with Fnatic besides going to Worlds? Because that's kind of, you know, the obvious one, because you haven't been there.
Well, for me, it's just to play as much as I can and to give my team the best shot of winning every game. Like, that's my personal goal. I want to go to Worlds. I hope I can achieve it. And yeah, winning UoL CS would be a nice too.
Yeah, you've been in the finals yet, but you haven't managed to grab the title itself, luckily. We've seen a few interesting support picks and actually a lot of support bans these days. You know, Tom Kench getting banned out quite a few times. Brom even sometimes draws a ban. We saw a Brand support in the Giants series. What do you think of the current support meta?
I think it's evolving a bit from tanks to like getting to like more squishy, like Brand, Bart, or like Janna. I think it will come eventually to these picks, but for now, like these team fighters that are Brom and Tam Kench are really strong. So I like the meta. I think Brand has potential, but nobody knows it, I guess, so far. I heard it's good against certain picks, so yeah. I'm looking forward to play Bart, for example.
Is that like one of your favorite champions right now in general?
My favorite is Thresh, but I really like playing Rakan and Bart. Yeah. So, yeah, if I can pick Bart, I would.
We also saw Kalista not getting banned, interestingly enough, recently. But the ADC meta overall has been a bit stagnant, I feel like. You know, Reckless has been picking up Tristana again. Lots of Protect the Cock comps. Do you think that bot lane right now is a bit stale, or are there like future patches are going to change it?
I think the new picks to come, I obviously can't say which ones. We already saw Twitch, for example. I think soon we will see like new picks for both roles, support and AD.
Right now, like Reckless completely popped off in that last game, but Hansam has also been really, really impressive. Right now, are like the Misfits bot lane the one bot lane that you truly want to face, or like that you see on the same level, or are there other bot lanes like Upset and Vanda or Mini Trupax and Jack Troll that you're a bit worried of even?
I would say that Misfits has the strongest bot lane from these ones that you said. I think Hansama is really good, and he is playing like, for example, like yesterday, I had like maybe 15 flashes on top of him, and I didn't manage to kill him once. So he really deserves more credit than he gets, and these guys are like really good.
Yeah, and like, we saw several team fights where you had a really nice engage with the Rakan, and then he Quicksilver out and flash out of it, and then, you know, Caps went a bit too far and they still got the pick and stuff.
They were really prepared like for every engage, and that's really impressive to see, because you cannot blink against Rakan, because if you blink you die. So they really they played really well yesterday. Even though we made obvious mistakes, I think we had the game and then we wanted to fight, so we fought. We risked it, but it was fun. At least we tried really hard. Like in the comps, you could hear that we didn't try it that much before. So losing yesterday, for example, for me personally, wasn't a really like much of a defeat, because we really tried as a team and we just couldn't do it. We had the game multiple times. We just threw it on a few times, but I think it's all right. We're learning.
So the mood after the game wasn't too bad?
For some of the players was a bit hard, but for most of them was just okay, because it doesn't really matter. We're gonna face them again, and we're gonna learn from our mistakes and see what happens. Okay.
Well, is there anything you would like to say to the plenty of Fnatic fans out there?
Thanks for cheering for us, and thank you for welcoming me good in Fnatic.
Okay. You heard it from Hylissang. Make sure to follow him on Twitter. This was Darius from the Shotcaller. Hope you have a good day. See you then.